So today I'm going to talk about my new project of deep learning, in which we have used TensorFlow, Keras, and other technology stacks such as Visual Studio Code, Jupyter Notebook, Flask API for front end, and DVC if you heard about it, MLflow. All these technologies has been used in this project. If you know, I have already created one of the uh, video for the ML flow to demonstrate how it works and how is there, uh, what is required for that. And if there is any questions, let me know. Do let me know. I'll be able to answer those questions. So without wasting of much time, let me show up what project is basically. uh, yeah Better, yeah, this is my GitHub account. I'll leave the I'll leave the my GitHub account description in the description below. Yeah, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for the more videos. Yeah, and then let me show to the repositories. So this is basically the project name, disease classification from chest CT scan images. So as the name states, this project is basically scans the, or we have the digital images data collected for the lot of digital images, and which basically model will scan it and predict that whether this scan have cancer or not. It's adenocarcinoma, the disease name. So I have already added the text related to this adenocarcinoma. Yeah, and these are the links which basically available in this for in the readme file. So I have added some dvc, init, repro, and all these commands are also there. This is my mlflow commands and how to run this file in to creating or to generate the code. And these are some basic commands are there. So the basically as a workflow, I have done that config.yml file, then params files. It's basically config.yml is nothing but for each component we have what all folders and where to data, from where have to the data will come, and then how it have to generate. Params basically it will be required for end-to-end project, what all the parameters we have to consider for building up our model. And this is basically the other one is entity configuration component pipeline and main .py and then dvc.yaml file. So let me go through to some other files as well. Let me take you to the flowcharts plus. So this is the flowchart of my date folder structures. We have components, we have config, we have constant, entity, pipeline, and stages. In pipeline we have stages and utils. Basically utils for if there is anything common you have, common file, common utils which you have to use across your project. So there it could be used. So we can deploy this project as a small microservices, and then based on the endpoint the users can other project can be benefited, or it can be used as a standalone application as well by any medical facilities. So we have the data ingestion, prepare model, model trainer, and model evaluation. There are total 4 stages for this. So let me show you some other stages as well, stages wise. So, so this is the flow chart for the stages. For each stage, what is required, input, and how it, what is the basically another input, this is also input by which it cannot run, and then what will be the output. So this is again the parameters, what its parameter is required, config or an input parameters. This is comes from the param.yml file, and this is basically a file which runs and it generates the prepared as model. Similarly for the training, we have input param, config, data ingestion, output. What we have, get the zip file from the data ingestion and then prepare date base model from the stage 2. It then its system will generate the model. Model evaluation is basically, it takes the model evaluation data and then some param and batch size, and then it will generate my scores. So this is little bit. I have also created a svg file basically for animation purpose, and this is deployment basically, what all things are required, basically how the system will do the deployment. So I will do the deployment later, but just for initial purpose I'm just showing it. This I think only yeah, another diagram. Okay, so there is one table as well, which is basically for the each stages. Yeah, so this is all about the project. So currently I have already executed this project and running in my one of my system. Basically it's, I have done this project in my Windows system because Tensor is easy to install there, and code is basically we have written, I have, by which I have written it is in Tensor. It's quite easy to doing there. So yeah, and also I have this everything here in this the similar way. Yeah, the technology wise we have used Dockers, DVC, Python code, AWS infrastructure, GitHub, and ECR. This is the deployment approach and deployment architecture. We have used two EC2 instance. One is for basically Jenkins server as a master, and the other one is basically where the application is running. It will going to the end user. Yeah. So let me go to the my code. Yeah. So this is the Windows machine in which I have done the end-to-end development currently. So this is, I'm connected through Teams. Basically this machine is next to me and I have already done everything on this machine, because I have started this project in this machine, and now I just don't want to do some changes to make it in my Apple machine. So this is, I'm already connected to this machine. uh, so one task basically it's pending over here. If I'll show you, prepare, everything is done. We have the model here. If I'll run this, dvc init already run, so I have to run this dvc dot repro. So what it will do, it will generate a model file and put it somewhere here. So currently basically from it's already there. So now my task is basically model file. I have to, currently there are no changes, that's why dvc repro is not showing anything. But yeah, what I have to do, what I'll do to demonstrate the dvc, how the dvc works, I'm doing some small coding part by which you can it is basically, we can see that how basically we have to move this file model.h5 to my model folder here. not in ML runs, to the new folder which I have created in under the root. So I'll writing up a code where I'll move this file, copy this file to here in model. So I'll do that completely as I'll start from the scratch, and then we'll do it everything at one by one step. So it will, as a modular coding, what is the best practices as well. So let me go to my common.py file, which is in CNN classifier, and under utils we have common.py file. So here you can see it is there. So first of all, I'll have to write a code for copying a file from one folder to another folder, I think, which is the most important. But instead of writing directly somewhere in the model, okay, one more thing with this moving a file, what is the trigger and which point it has to trigger, I'll also have to tell you this. There are, during the model evaluation time, we have to do that. It's in, basically, if I'll go to the pipeline, it's in the stage 4. So if I'll say that I already have saved these scores, and after that I have to move the file to my model file from the training folder to my model folder. So this is I have to do. So I have to just add a code here, but it's just a one-liner code here, but back in the behind the screen as a modular coding, or the with the oops concept, following up the oops concept, I have to do it a lot of work over there. So first thing is, basically I'll have to write it up here. My utils, which will be could be used in everywhere. So we'll have to use the shuttle library over here. So let me first import the shuttle library. Let me go too fast here. Import, sorry, okay, showing shuttle, and then I'll go to the end. I'll write down a function called def space folder, or the my function method name is copy file source and destination. So basically I'll say this as source, it's path we have to mention. So source source underscore path. So it's clear that it is a source path we are required, and destination also destination. So destination path. So these are the two paths, and then we have to put the code. We have to use sh shuttle dot copy file name from source to destination. So this is the only code we have to write. However, we need to take care of the exception handling. So I'll put it in, basically I'm also be a Java guy earlier, so I'll say that it's a try catch, and then basically it's a try and then accept exception. It could be multiple exceptions over here. Let me print. I'll print here that an error occurred, basically an error occurred while copying a file. Okay, and basically there could be multiple exceptions. It could be a permission, what I thought of. So let me copy this one and then enter it, and then file not found exception. Oops. So copy and then paste it. One more time I'll paste it because I'll have I thought of currently there could be a multiple options. So basically file not found exception, here it is. So it is easy for me because I have also had a hands-on experience in Java earlier, so it was not that much difficult for me. But if it's file not found exception, in this case it is basically error. And the other error is basically permissions exception. So here again permission error. So yeah, so this is my, I have done the coding part. I'll also modify this messages file source file not found. I say this. So you RC source file not doesn't exist. And if I'll get this here, permissions related to permissions, some text related to permissions, permission denied. It's this much enough. So I have installed Debian in my Visual Studio, so that's why it is giving me advice and I'm using it, and it's convenient for me to use it. Otherwise I'll have to write everything, and if I feel that it is fine to keep it, otherwise I can modify as well. So yeah, and what I can do here, I can also, if there is any exception, I can also print my exception as a exception here. Okay, so this is all about what I can do best in this. I hope so. Let's test this. In we'll write down it everything in demo file. Yeah, and we have this demo.py file. What I'll do, I'll go to my common, and in demo I'll write down from CNN classifier dot utils import. I write down copy co. Wait, I can write down common also here, and then I can write down copy file, and then this copy file I'll use let me write down the source file, source and I'll also write, let me write down source file and then destination file. Okay, path, basically this is path, so let me write down as a path here. Okay, now where is my file? It's in basically artifact folder. If I'll go up here, it's in artifact and it's in the training file. And what is the file name? So let me write down some artifact slash, and then I have training slash model ODEL dot h5. This is my source file, and what is my destination? Destination is basically nothing but model slash. Now this is done. Now let me test this. So how I'll have to test? Copy source file to this. This much is enough. Just save this file and try to test this one. If it's already saved, now you can see that currently there is no file in the model and we have the file in the destination. Let me write down here. Nothing, right down. Okay, let me execute Python cop demo.py. It is giving me permission denied. Okay, yeah. So friend, I have just figured out the issue why it was giving me permission denied. So this is because my shuttle.copy2 function has to be used instead of copy file. Basically copy to and copy file, we can go to the shuttle. So I figure out. So friends, we have figured out. I figured out why it was not copying my file properly. There was a issue in my copy file command. Copy shuttle.copy file. It was copy file earlier. So which is basically should be copy to. So once I'll change this one, and then if I run it again, so you can see my file has been copied to my model folder, which is basically here. So I'll execute one more time to demonstrate the same. Delete, and then do it again. So let me use it everything so that it will be very much visible that file is been copied. So you can see that model h5 file has been copied over here. Yeah, then now this code I have to write it in until here, but I'll not write this way. What the way I have written here, the path here. So paths will go in somewhere in configuration, and I'll also follow up the end-to-end ops concept as well. So how I'll have to do this? First of all, I'll go and my config file where I'll define my path for this file for my add up the copy path. Basically I'll copy path of model model equals to, it is in model here. This path I'll write down here, not training, only model. Then save it. Now I can go to my model evaluation file from where it starts. So let me go to my model evaluation file. Here it is, component. I'll go to model evaluation component. So I'll write down here a common. I'm also using copy file. So if I'll see it here, there are a lot of functions written in this. So if we'll go down after save JSONs, where let me see where it is calling, because it would be easy for me. So now after this I'll write down another function, def copy file copy model self from, basically it will call a source file. It will take the source file. So you rc source model core file path, file equals to self dot config model part to model. So this is my, it will get me the path of the for this artifact that training that model. How I am confirm this? I can confirm this by clicking on here. You can take this one, and I'll also write in this is my model config entity file. In this I'll also write down copy of copy path of model. So here it is written one more parameter, I'll use this in my here copy path of model, sorry it is model, and then config entity. So it is coming over here. Now go to my evaluation file, and then I'll have this destination model file path, taking this, the whole code it's basically giving me here, not model, it's model. Yep. Okay. Now I'll just call this copy file source to destination. It's, I think, so easy, guys. I believe you guys are getting it what I'm doing. So once this is done, I have already done the changes in the configuration, which is basically here, and also done the changes in the config entity file, and now my changes are required in stage 4 model. So here it is just a one-liner code we have to write. Stage 4 here, evaluation, it's a basically evaluation is nothing but it's a object of model evaluation, and then it is basically copy dot copy underscore file file. I also need to write somewhere here. No need. So this much of the changes are required. Fine. So now there are a lot of changes has been done. Not lot of, but yeah, some changes has been done in common. Demo is not required. Demo I have used for this demonstration purpose. Stage 4, model 4, model evaluation, config file, and config.entity file. Now let me try to trigger it. So there are multiple ways we can trigger it. We can directly trigger our fourth stage, python space stage 4 model evaluation.py file. Other ways I can trigger it from main. So if I'll see that main.py, it trigger the whole pipeline end to end every time. There is an error. Okay, here I'm missing a comma. Then tvc repro again. There is a small mistake I found again in my this. I have written copy mod file. It's basically copy model. So if I'll see this is the copy model function is calling. Now let me try it again, tvc.repro. So yeah, and if everything works fine, we'll be able to find this model file over here in our model folder, from copied from training folder. Let's hope, finger crossed, everything should work fine. In the meantime, while it is running, so yeah, we can see that file is over here. So the code for this I already committed in my GitHub account. You can get it if you want. Yeah, so if you'll see it here, I already committed the code over here, model evaluation. So copy file. So here I have kept the name before. Here I kept the name as copy file. It is quite easy to follow along. And then configuration file, we have done the changes in this file, added a copy path of folder. Yeah, that's it guys, and if there is any questions, do let me know. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.